flame us.
Oh no.
Ha! I don't know why I always feel the need to be strange.
I don't know. It's always like a whoa, we're live.
I know.
Woo.
Well, it shocks me every time.
I know, but you're the one hitting the button. Like, if anyone should be shocked, it should be me.
This is true. I'll tell you one thing.
Mm-hmm.
This week was an interesting week. It was very busy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think next week might be an interesting week as well.
Really?
Or no, it's not next week. The following week, I think, is going to be an interesting week.
Oh yes, that one I do know about. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
In fact, I gotta make sure. I gotta find out if we're gonna be able to do the podcast on February 12th.
That is up to you and your
it's up
interesting
to
schedule.
United.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what time? I guess we don't need to. We can figure this out later. But I don't know if the timing is going to work out.
I believe, dude, the United website is ass. Like, whenever you load it, the whole thing is completely non-responsive, and like none of the buttons work. And then
I gotta say,
suddenly works.
I downloaded their app the other day because we're going to be taking United. So I downloaded their app, and it's not amazing. I don't know. It's a little janky.
I like it. It works pretty well.
I don't know. The American Airlines app is better. I'm sorry.
Well, you could say that, or you could not say that.
I don't know. This isn't an airline app podcast, so we don't have to dwell on it. But
what's stopping us? We've had all sorts of random, disjointed subjects all the time.
That's true. That is true. While we're here waiting to start, I saw my mom in the chat, and she said, "Nice glass." Yeah. She got me this glass for Hanukkah. It's got a nice nice bike on it. So
you do like biking?
I do. So I had to.
I'm gonna get you a glass like to match that, and I'll just get a glass that just has like an app on it,
just like a Squircle.
Yeah, or maybe it'll be the Xcode icon.
I
would like that. That will be my gift to you, and you'll be like, "Oh, gee."
That would be so nice of you.
Well, now I have to get you something different because I unfortunately spoiled this one, so that is now off limits. So I guess I'll have to get you socks.
I was thinking maybe like an M2 Pro or Max computer.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I don't know. I think that's fair.
Speaking of M2 Pro and Max, you like what I did there?
I set you up for that one.
Yeah, you did. I think we should get started, honestly.
I think so.
We've got a lot to talk about. It's a busy day. Also, I just realized something, Noah. I'm derailing my smooth transition because I realized, and I guess we could talk about this, but there's going to be, I believe, at least one Sunday where I think April 16th Sunday, we can do an in-person podcast.
Oh, I see.
But it'll be an in-person podcast from possibly Venice.
Mm-hmm.
So Noah, Noah's. This is like a little fun peek behind the show. Not really a peek behind the show. It's just us being human beings.
Yeah,
But Noah's mom often comes and hangs out with us. I'm pretty sure she watches like every single episode
I think so. Yeah.
because she be in here all the time. So no, Noah's family and my family have been friends for a long time, and so we're all going to Italy in April. And so that's why we
Yeah.
mentioned United, and that's why we were talking about. So I think April 16th, we'll have to like kick both of our families out so that they can go and do whatever and
Hmm.
leave and be quiet. And then we can. I wonder what time is it right now in Italy?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Like, how much are we? Oh no,
What is it,
Noah!
like 4 a.m. or something?
It's
What is it?
2:56
A.m.?
a.m.
Oh, I can do that. That's fine.
I'm gonna die. Should we do it
Okay,
though?
not okay, maybe not at 3 a.m., but I feel like we should do something while we're there.
What we Italian tech video? What should we do? There must be
There's got to be
something.
something.
The
Apple Watch
iPasta.
Hermes? Where's Hermes come from?
I don't think Italy.
Really?
Hermes country of origin. It sounds French or
Oh yeah, it
Spanish.
is
It's
French.
French. Okay, I was
There's
right.
got to be something. There's got to be something
Gucci is
Italian.
Italian.
Gucci? Do they have Gucci Apple, Gucci iPhone?
I don't. I mean, there's probably an iPhone case.
that's your that's your tech video right there. iPhone case.
The Gucci iPhone case in Italy. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Ruinously expensive, I have no doubt. In fact,
Yep.
let's find out. Let's look it up. Oh no, I spelled Gucci wrong. I spelled it
Gucci
Googie.
iPhone.
Ah. Oh, it's worse than I thought.
Really?
Would you like to see a Gucci iPhone case?
Sure.
It's really bad. What is this?
How much is that? 520 or yeah,
$520 with monthly payments available. So you could pay for your iPhone case over the course of longer than you would ever own an iPhone. I also guarantee that you can get old ones because, like, I guess half the appeal with designer stuff is that it like holds its value or something. Is from what I've heard, it doesn't like depreciate all that much, but
Mhm.
I guarantee a Gucci iPhone case for like an iPhone 6 is worth like $15.
Is that I'm sorry, but I think they're ugly. Like
Keeps
maybe I guess like it's subjective or whatever, but like these are all ugly.
look brand new and it's $44. $30. I mean, I guess it's possible that these aren't real. But
It's
like
more than I was expecting for an
I
iPhone 6
agree.
case. But like who's gonna buy that? It's like you buy the thing for one like you buy it, you have it for your phone. If you're the kind of person buying this, you probably upgrade your phone fairly frequently. Or maybe you don't. I don't know. Maybe you don't. But like you have this for your phone and then your phone's done and then you're done with it. Like what do you do?
Yeah, I guess that's why you sell it on eBay after you pull it out of a drawer and then you try to get $80, but there's so many of these darn things. I wonder if we look at the sold listings, I guarantee they're like, "Oh, that's bad."
Oh my god.
$50, brand new, $50.
You know what? I feel
85.
like this is something that Sam would do, like with his like tweets and stuff. He would like have some like iPhone 6 Gucci case and be like, imagine not having a Gucci case for your phone.
maybe I should get one for like a not egregiously old phone, like an 11 Pro for $25. I would get that just to be like stupid,
Yeah.
just to make just for the tweet, you know. I wonder if you can
Yep.
find like a 12. I do have or no, I have a 13 Pro Max. This is probably too recent. These are going to be too expensive. What am I looking at?
Oh,
These are not
there's your Gucci case right there.
small surprise box up to. Why is Gucci in the tag as it's $15.99? Maybe if
Oh
I add
God.
like, oh yeah, there you go. iPhone 13 Pro Max case luxury. I'm sure that's
Mm-hmm.
that's great. I don't know why I can't find any like actual like all of these seem to be. Oh no, that's the same. That's for the 6S Plus. Why are there so many for the old phones? Oh, ew, what? Oh my god, it needs to. Okay, here we go. I'm sharing this tab now because it always opens up in a new tab. What
Uh-huh.
is this? Why does it have that weird strap? What is the point of that?
Oh God.
I'm so confused. Anyway, we've gotten distracted.
Yeah, now we're
How did we
over.
talk about that?
I don't know, but we were like, oh, let's get started early. We have so much to talk about. And now we're like 2 minutes late to starting. We got so distracted there.
Yeah, I can't believe this is embarrassing. All right, let's fire up the old podcast, shall we?
Let's
I hope we
crank.
didn't just
Let's
like
get it
lose our
cranking.
entire our entire viewer bases left.
Let's get it
Oh my
going.
god, and my air conditioning starts now. Hang on.
Wow, you know what? Better now than in the middle of the podcast. That's why we stalled for this long, so we could wait for the air conditioner to start, and then Luke could go turn it off, and then he can run back over here and say, "All right, everyone, let's get started."
All right, everyone, let's get started.
There you go.
What I miss?
What did you miss? Well, everyone's left. There's no one here anymore.
Beans.
Yeah.
Darn. All right. Well, I guess we're just this one's just for you and me, Noah.
I guess so. All right, let's do it.
Welcome to Dark Mode, the podcast that brings you sage advice from two technology experts, and that's not just what we call ourselves. It's what our moms tell people when they bring us to Italy to make us connect to their phones to the Wi-Fi. I'm your host, Luke Miani.
And I'm your host, Noah Rubin. On this show, we take questions from listeners, attempt to answer them to varying degrees of success, and maybe even have a laugh or two along the way.
Oh, one or two?
One or two. That's our going rate.
I think that's fair. Speaking of going rate, our going rate for discussions on the new M2 Pro and Max chips is about to increase.
It's about to go
You like that?
from 0 to not 0.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So Noah, I want to start with this. Are you upgrading from M1 Max to M2 Max?
What do you think?
I'm going to go out on a limb. Okay? This is and if I'm right, you have to pay me $440.
440
units. 440. Okay. Here's my guess. No.
You know, I've thought about this. I've really, toiled over it for the past week. You know, this computer here, this M1 Max here, it's really showing its age. It can barely run anymore. I can barely open 2 tabs, even in Safari, let alone Chrome, but even in Safari. But I think I'm gonna tough it out for another year. I think I'm gonna just, do what I can do.
Wow, you're gonna tough it out on that old antique?
I know this thing is practically fossilized at this point, but
it's a petrified MacBook. I think I saw one. The Natural History Museum is the Smithsonian's down a couple blocks away. I think I saw one there.
Yeah, you probably did. It might have even been this very one. I let
Yeah,
it out of
that
my
one.
sight for a minute.
I think it's like, they say that life came to Earth on an asteroid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure your MacBook was on that asteroid too.
Yeah, this was the original, not single-celled organisms. The original
Oh,
whatever the word is, the original source of life was this very Mac
the
right here.
primordial goop.
Yes, it was just the soldering liquid that was. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The soldering liquid? Is that what you said?
I was trying to think of some goop. I was trying to think of what goop there would be inside of a Mac, and I couldn't. That was the closest that I got.
The soldering liquid is what you
Like
came up
the
with.
what other goop would you say is inside of a Mac?
Thermal
On a
paste?
good day. Okay,
Thermal
that's
paste.
that's what I meant. That's what I meant to say, I promise.
Wait, you meant thermal paste and you said soldering liquid? That's,
Yes.
I mean, first of all, not the same task at
Uh-huh.
all. Not
Uh-huh.
even close to the same task.
Uh-huh.
Um, gosh, I think we gotta
All right.
call it quits.
All right. Well, you
How
know
can
what?
we?
This is why you're the software. This is why you're the hardware guy. I'm the software guy. You're the
Uh,
hardware guy. Cut me
okay,
a
but
little bit of slack here.
we proclaim ourselves to be technology experts, and you called thermal paste soldering liquid.
It was a severe momentary lapse
Uh,
of judgment.
okay. Oh Jesus! All right, let's get a vote in the chat. Actually, I'm
Oh
gonna put up
no.
a vote on YouTube on my community tab.
Uh-huh. Oh no.
Noah just called thermal paste
No, we
soldering
were gonna delete this. We
liquid.
were just gonna delete this episode and start over. We don't need to tell anyone else. Enough people have
It's
already
been
seen this.
seen.
We don't. But it's contained right now. You're about to let it out there for everyone to see.
Hey, did you use soldering liquid to hang the wall panels too, Noah? Is that why they didn't work?
I'm never.
My
You know
goodness.
what? Whatever. It used to be that my wall panels always fell down. If soldering liquid is going to be the new joke, then I'll take it. We can sell soldering liquid in the merch store, and it can be whatever we want because we'll just make it up.
All right, I'm gonna say question: can we legally be considered technology YouTubers after
Mm-hmm.
this colossal blunder?
Well, that's a leading question. If you call it a colossal blunder,
Okay. What would
if
you
you say
call it?
I would call it an honest mistake.
No, that's leading in the opposite direction, you son of a bitch. I won't
Okay,
have it.
then, well, then you can call it a mistake, honest or otherwise.
You want me to type after this mistake, honest or otherwise?
Yes.
I'm leaving it as colossal blunder. It's my channel. I'd like
Oh
to see you stop me.
no. Oh no.
All right, here we go. The poll is posted. Let's get some results flooding in here. So, for those of you watching along at home, open up another tab, unless, of course, you're using an M1 Max MacBook Pro, in which case, good luck. That antique
Not gonna
is not going to
happen.
be able to handle it. I'm sorry.
Too much soldering liquid in there to handle it.
God damn it. Uh, you know what we should do actually is revisit the poll from last week, which I just now saw.
Mm,
Because
that's
we
right.
talked
That
about
was
the years of use for a primary laptop, correct?
yep.
And so, given that we're now talking eventually about the M2 Pro and Max, I think this is an apt place to start. So, there were 5 choices 1 year or less, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then 5 years or more. So, oh no, I misspelled blunder. I said bloodner.
Well, that's very fitting. Can you really be considered a technology expert if you misspell the word blunder?
Oh shush. There's only
You better
27
not be
votes.
fixing it.
I'm deleting it.
You better no. See,
Oh
that's not
yeah.
fair. That's
No,
not fair. I make one. You made that mistake. Okay, maybe mine was a little bit worse, but it wasn't that much worse. And you,
oh
why do you get to
really?
delete yours? It wasn't that much worse. It was
Okay, how about this? How
an
about
honest
this? I
mistake.
repost the poll and I remove colossal blunder and say error.
Okay, fine. It's more neutral.
Okay. The post has been reposted. Now, for the record, you were not faring too well in the results of the previous one.
Okay. But this is our
But
second chance. And I didn't vote in that one. I gotta go put my vote in right now.
that's true. That's true. So you have the chance to sway things. Right now, with our first 2 votes, we're evenly split 50-50. Yes, no. So you might
Okay.
sway this vote at this point, which I would argue is tampering.
Well, we don't have to worry about that. Yeah, it's not looking great right now.
No, it's not. But what is looking great are the results to last week's poll, in which we learned a lot about the audience here. Now, I also had my good buddy Sam from Apple Track post the same thing to his community. How many years do you keep your primary laptop? So, what I was curious about is how do we compare? How are there any differences in our audience? I will say there is one difference, and that is that my audience is larger because I got 23,000 votes compared to 9.8 thousand. Boo, terrible rookie
Oh
numbers.
man.
But so what do we got? 1 year or less. My audience, 2%. Sam's audience, 2%. 2 years. 2 years of laptop. My audience, 6%. Sam, 5%. Oh.
Whoa.
3 years and 4 years, curiously tied on both polls. Mine, 14%. Sam's, 15%. Interesting. And then 5+ years. For me, 64%. For Sam, 64%.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, basically the same.
Absolutely. So it seems like with a pretty wide sample size of 2, albeit fairly similar audiences, the clear trend is that most people are keeping their laptops for 5 years or more. I would even say the vast majority.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, obviously we've been joking about the M2 Pro and the M1 Max being a fossil, but from more than 30,000 pieces of data, 20,000, 2/3 of those people are using a laptop, or maybe not are currently using a laptop, but intend to keep a laptop for 5+ years. That means that there are a lot of people out there with 2018, 17, 16, 15, 14, etc. MacBooks. I'm assuming MacBooks because it is my channel still.
Yeah.
So the really interesting thing, and I actually am going to do a video on that in the near future, is I want to actually compare how does the new stuff stack up, not against the M1 Max. But against these 5+ year old laptops like this guy, my Touch Bar 13-inch MacBook Pro from 2017. This is actually, I think this is going to make a very interesting test because I'm going to compare this thing to the M2 Pro. They had almost exactly the same MSRP when new. Hard to believe. I've started doing some benchmarking, Noah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the reasons why this video is going to take a while. Because
lots of numbers to crunch.
No, it's not so much numbers to crunch as it is time.
Oh, time to complete. Time for the benchmarks to complete.
Yeah. So, well, let me give you an example, Noah. Let me pull up my benchmarking numbers because I do always make a little spreadsheet. I like to be organized. So, you might be wondering to yourself, how long does it take for, let's even say, a base model with the double binned M2 Pro, which I'll expand on in a second? How long does that take to render a 30-minute 4K 10-bit 60 FPS color graded clip?
Do I have to guess?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I know for a fact that it is way faster than the computer that you're comparing it to. But
yes,
I don't know, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, a half an hour. I really don't know.
All right. So your guess of 10 minutes, quite good. 9 minutes and 16 seconds. The M1 Max actually takes 10 minutes and 5 seconds. So this was something that I focused on a lot. The M2 Pro base model outperformed the M1 Max in the render test. Very impressive. Obviously, in other areas like graphics or CPU individually, like if you play a game or run Cinebench or whatever, the M1 Max, of course, is going to win that. But the M2 Pro is very good at video editing. So, 9 minutes and 16 seconds. That's our benchmark time for the M2 Pro. I ran it on this guy. Now, this is a dual-core Kaby Lake i7. No, i5. This one's the upgraded i5. We do have 16 gigabytes of RAM. We have half a terabyte of storage on this thing. And just to preface, because I know a dual core doesn't sound all that crazy, but these Intel MacBooks have a feature called Intel QuickSync, which uses the dedicated graphics to assist in rendering. And so when the iMac Pro came out, that was actually slower than those big 18 core Xeons like what I had for almost 3 years. Those 18 core Xeons were actually slower than a lot of the lesser chips because QuickSync, which a Xeon wouldn't have because it doesn't have integrated graphics, speeds things up. So with that advantage, it's a 6-year-old machine, same exact clip. 9 minutes and 16 seconds for M2 Pro. How long do you think it took?
Half an hour, at least a half an hour.
Okay, half an hour. That's an interesting guess. We'll see what we get. Some guesses here. I am very curious, given that, this is a Mac that I had new, essentially. I had the 15-inch back in 2016. Noah, you had a 2017. Like these aren't that old. These are computers that are all in our working memory, even in my YouTube memory of reviewing. Someone here said 55 minutes. Wow. Someone said 20 to 25. Noah.
Yeah.
It took 2 hours and 47 minutes.
Oh, geez. Yeah. See, I had a feeling it was going to be a lot. I didn't want to go crazy, but I had a feeling it was going to be like a lot worse.
Yeah. Yeah. The better part of 3 hours to render that clip. That's how far we've come in 6 years.
Yeah, and I'm sure, a lot of that is thanks to the dedicated hardware on the Apple Silicon chips for like optimizing the exports and like video related tasks. But like, hey,
Absolutely.
that really goes to show just how good it is and how much value it provides.
I mean, remember, the reason I brought up that QuickSync stuff is that these Intel chips are also optimized. Like QuickSync is specifically designed to accelerate tasks like video editing and rendering.
True.
And even with that, 3 hours and we're down to less than 10 minutes.
It's pretty
That's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
That's absolutely mental. Another thing that's quite crazy and unsurprising or unexpected about these new M2 chips is I found that they actually perform extremely well in Blender compared to the previous generation. So across the board, you're looking at an extra 2 efficiency cores that boosts CPU performance by 20 something percent, which is respectable. Better than the M2 chip did because no core difference, just a little clocking difference. You're talking 8%. But with these extra cores and more thermal headroom, you're talking 20%. That's pretty good. Graphics. Well, in Rise of the Tomb Raider gaming benchmark, we went from 97 FPS on your computer, the M1 Max 32 core, up to 114. That's pretty good.
Wow,
Looking
yeah.
at about 20 to 30%. In Blender, though, holy moly, these things go hard in Blender. Let me tell you, the M1 Pro 16 core GPU took 3 minutes and 26 seconds for Blender Classroom. The new M2 Pro with the 16 core GPU, so the binned version, took 2:28.
Huh.
And for the Max chip, we cut it from 1:25 down to 49 seconds. So these things are like 50% speed improvements. It's crazy.
That's like, do you have any theories? Like, is it really just having those extra cores and like a little extra speed, or is there something else going on there?
So I think there is some amount of optimization that has occurred. I there was a thread on Twitter that I was reading. It talked about it. I want to see if I can find it. But there is an appreciable reason that caused it outside of just like these core the chip is faster because it's extra faster in Blender.
Yeah.
But even then, it's still nowhere near where Nvidia is. Not even close. Nvidia has the optics renderer, and so I mentioned on M2 Max 49 seconds for the BMW render, or I think that was for Classroom. I ran it on my 3090. Granted, higher class of GPU, no doubt. Took 7 seconds.
Seven seconds.
Yeah. You
It's
know what
pretty
else
quick.
takes 7 seconds?
What else?
That's the amount of time that it takes me to come up with a segue to talking about the new port situation on the MacBook Pro. And one of my favorite things is the new HDMI 2.1 port. That was honestly one of the biggest things that I was like annoyed about on the M1 Pro and Max, the 14 and the 16. I was like, come on, man. Can't even do 4K high refresh rate. Can't do 8K at all on these like really expensive machines that came out in 2021. Come on. Now they finally do it.
That's cool. Yeah, I remember there was like a little thing when these came out and it wasn't HDMI 2.1. So it's definitely good to see that they fixed that in this one.
And when they fixed that, they did change a couple of things internally. I don't know if you had a chance to see, Noah, my video from yesterday.
I did not see it yet.
So I did the old swaparoo. I tried to upgrade my M1 Max 16-inch MacBook Pro to an M2 Max 16-inch MacBook Pro. Since you haven't seen it, would you care to hazard a guess at how it went?
I think the last time you tried this, it didn't work. I'm going to assume that it didn't work again. That's my guess.
So it was very weird because it kind of does work.
Really?
Yeah. It boots. It logs in. Keyboard works. But the big but is that the top case, not happy. It really does not like it. There's three main issues. Number one, the battery doesn't know how charged it is. So you swap it over, battery works, but you don't have a reading on charge or health or cycles or anything. It's like the little battery X icon. So that already in itself kind of rules it out. But you add on to that the fact that something about this, probably a cloud pairing issue with these parts. Fans go crazy. They just max fans as soon as it boots up. And then the third issue is they changed the length of the connection for the trackpad so that the connectors are not compatible. So I had to swap the trackpads in order to get it to work.
That's really interesting. I'm just surprised that it works at all. And it sounds like obviously those are like severe issues, like that you wouldn't actually want to do it. But like the fact that those are the only issues and that it like works otherwise is, I don't know, it's kind of impressive. And it's not at all what I was expecting, because you tried this with the Mac Studio, right? And it didn't work at all. And then there was kind of a little bit of an issue with that.
The Mac Studio was a different upgrade. That was the storage test.
That's right.
We tried the Logic board upgrade with the M2 MacBook Pro, the 13-inch, and that it won't do anything. I believe the consensus, because whenever I do these videos, it's like, I just do the test because a lot of people talk about the theory of it. I'm like, you know what? I got both of them. I got the iFixit Protect Toolkit. Let's just try it, see what happens. So I try the experiment, and then people interpret it. The interpretation that I think was reached was that the top case, the keyboard has like a different something. I don't even remember, but it was a keyboard incompatibility, and so the whole board, it just like, it's not going to do anything. So in this case, we do technically have an incompatible top case. The only other thing is you do also lose True Tone on the display. I don't know why, but Apple won't let you, unless you do their self-service repair and you pair the parts, you lose True Tone. Stupid. I don't know why they do this. It's such a dumb thing to lose. Personally, if I were, 5 years down the line, I could buy a screen on eBay for $400 or do Apple's repair for $700. Absolutely, I would sacrifice True Tone. I turn it off anyway.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But I don't know. That is still just really cool that you were able to make the switch. And I think that there was also, I guess this wouldn't matter, but like there was
Mm.
something about the heat sink or the heat pipe or something being different. And I guess that's part of the logic board, so it didn't really matter. But I know that that was also like another difference.
Yeah, they did change the design of the heat pipes slightly. I'm not 100% sure why. I think it's just a different package size for the SoC, but everything is. I talked about it in my video. The hard points, everything that mounts the board and connects it is the same. So there
Mhm.
are differences, well, except for the trackpad cable. There are differences in the arrangement of the board and the chips and the shape of the heatsink, as you mentioned, but there's nothing physically different that would prevent you from like screwing it in or connecting all the ports. And all of those seem to be unchanged, by the way. MagSafe, all the USB, and the headphone jack, those work fine. The HDMI is different, but the HDMI soldered onto the board. So if you swap the board, you're swapping the HDMI as well.
Yeah, and honestly, like, we're sitting here and like we're like, oh, this is like, I'm really surprised that it worked. And on one hand, this is Apple, so you're going to be kind of surprised. But on the other hand, maybe we really shouldn't, like, from a technical standpoint, we really shouldn't be that surprised overall, right? Because like these are, products in the same generation, one right after the other one. Like, of course, they're going to reuse a lot of the same. They're not going to reinvent the wheel if they're just upgrading the chip and the thing and doing a couple other little things. So like, yes, this is Apple and we don't expect it to work because it's Apple, but like from a technical
Yeah.
standpoint, like, maybe you could expect it to work, and maybe this bodes well for the future if Apple makes this, more official. They could, like, there's no technical reason why they couldn't.
Yeah, I guess the only technical reason is the trackpad. Like that's a physical incompatibility. I don't know why they changed that.
Yeah.
That just doesn't make sense to me. But all the other stuff, it's not hardware. If the battery is charging the machine and the fans are spinning and the display is displaying, like these aren't issues that are caused by hardware. And if they are, why are you changing them all the time? I mean, if you go back in time, there are some cases where Apple had to change parts mid generation. So, for example, the original, like if we go back through the whole history of the MacBook Pro, 2006, 7, 8, pre unibody, all of those parts are interchangeable. You can do whatever you want. So that's 3 straight years. For the unibody MacBook Pro, the 2008 was physically different from the 2009 because they had like this battery hatch in '08 that they got rid of very quickly. So those aren't compatible, but 2009, 2010, you can switch the parts all you want. 2011, they switched over to a new antenna style because they added faster Wi-Fi, and that meant instead of putting the Wi-Fi card in the display, they put the Wi-Fi card by the optical drive. So there are some limited differences there, just in like the screw placements. So those technically you can't swap those. Same with the screens because they did a different connector. So 2011 and 2012, those are interchangeable. Then the Retina MacBook Pro, 2012 and early 2013, interchangeable. Late 2013, they changed a couple of things. I haven't actually tried swapping the early 2013 and the late 2013 parts, so I'm not sure. But I know that 2013 and 2014 are interchangeable. 2016, 2017, those are interchangeable. Like Apple tends to do these like at least 2 years in a row where all the parts are the same and the only thing they're changing is just, spec bumping it. That's what this is. This is a spec bump. This is no different from when they went, okay, well, we had 6th gen Core i7s, now we have 7th gen Core i7s. That's all this is. But they didn't make the parts as interchangeable as I would have hoped.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, I know that you definitely addressed this in your video, but like The difference, you said it was the length of the connector, but was the connector itself different for the trackpad?
No, that's what I meant. The length of the cable is the same. It's
Mm-hmm.
the actual like plastic connector. Like there's 2 extra pins on the new one. Unsure
Huh.
why, but like the actual connector itself is a different length and it won't plug into the socket on the board. So you have to swap the old track pads. Kind of
That's
a bummer.
really, and we don't know what the extra 2 pins are doing yet.
No,
Maybe
no clue.
ever. That's so weird.
Yeah, I honestly have no explanation for that. As far as I'm aware, they did not discuss any differences between the trackpads.
I think we're getting Apple Pencil Hover for the MacBook Pro trackpad. That's my new theory.
Hmm.
And that's what those extra 2 pins are doing.
So they made the 2 pins. One is for like height, and one is for like the coordinates.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. You could definitely have that data transmitted over 2 pins.
Yeah. And like, wouldn't you want to use your Apple Pencil on the trackpad of your Mac? Like, that would be a great experience.
That's not a bad idea, actually. I feel like it's big enough. It could just be like a Wacom tablet.
I was like half being sarcastic, but honestly, like, it is pretty big. Like, I don't know.
Especially the 16, that's like the size of an iPad mini.
That is true. Because I feel like okay, if you really wanted it, just do sidecar with your iPad and
True.
drag your screen over. But I don't know. I feel like when you go into preview and you can like add a signature and you like write the signature on the trackpad with your finger. That's like I don't like that. That's
Right?
confusing to me. I want a pencil. I want to write it with an Apple Pencil. So just for
I
that
agree.
alone, they should have
Just for
Apple
the
Pencil.
signature feature in preview.
Just I mean if they want to do for other stuff as well, like I guess that's fine, but like that's all I care about is the signatures.
That's fair. That's understandable. I guess that's
Yeah.
what the new touchscreen Mac rumor that we heard from a couple of weeks ago that blew my mind. Maybe that's
That's
what
right.
they're
That's
talking
right.
about.
Yeah, maybe. Just for the preview signatures.
You know what I realized? If they do add touchscreen support to the Mac so that you can correctly use that signature field,
Hmm.
where would you put the Apple Pencil? Because I know that on the iPads, every iPad that supports Apple Pencil 2 has that magnetic terminal so that it can stick on the side. Are they going to
Hmm.
add that to the Mac?
I guess I could see them adding. I wonder. Okay, let me ask you this: what if they like rearrange the parts a little bit inside, and they were able to make like an indent in the Mac, so it's not like the pencil's just hanging off the side, but like you can actually tuck it like inside of the like a little recess.
Mm. Mm. So you're saying that they should do it like the mod book?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't remember exactly what that looked like, but yeah,
That.
no, I do. It was yeah. It's like in the little
Yeah.
hole.
It's got
Yeah,
like a little hole and you put your thing in.
yeah. Put the thing in the hole.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I honestly, let me pull this up. Axiotron mod book. These things are I would love if someone did that again. Like I
Oh
just think
yeah.
they're great. Look at this.
They're
Bro,
so
you can't
cool.
tell me that. Dude, is this one polished? Oh, love that. This is such a good idea. It's so clean. It's so simple. They sold kits. You could build these things yourself. All you have to do is take the screen off and the palm rest, screw this thing on there, done. You're good. Look at it. It's
Yeah, those things are
gorgeous.
so sick. I love them.
Oh, and you can put Big Sur on them. On the original ones?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't like the ModBook Pro
No,
or this Pro X. Like what
that's
what is
ugly.
that?
That's so ugly. That's just a Mac again with extra steps.
It is, you're right.
I mean, I get, okay, you can undock it, I guess, but like, uh,
They also had
yeah.
these, I talked about this in my video, but they had this like trailer. Here it is. Oh, yes. They had these trailers for the ModBook Pro X. First look, one Mac, fit for every occasion. This was, I guess.
Recordings just got.
Oh God, I'm giving free advertising.
StreamYard
Wait for
ad.
StreamYard.
Yeah,
This is cursed.
it's pretty funny.
Like, okay, this is from what year? 2017. Yeah, so this was with the Touch Bar generation of MacBook Pro. They had this concept, and people gave them money, which blows my mind because this is literally just CGI. Like, this is from the days where any concept of any level, without, you didn't even need to prove that you could, would, or might make this actual product. You just post a thing like this that shows like it's a CAD file, and people
Yeah.
were like, "Yep." People paid $3,000 to reserve one of these. Never got made.
Yeah, classic Kickstarter. Kickstarter scams. That's like, okay, wait, in that shot, aren't those two arms different lengths? Like, how is it not like at an angle?
I don't know.
That's and it's ugly. The bezels are huge on that thing. It's crazy.
Yeah, the bezels are, I mean, I guess it's so you can like hold it, but like, yeah, and then look,
it's
like
bigger than an
like,
iPad.
well, it's a 15-inch MacBook Pro.
Yeah, but okay, I guess. But
And
like the
look,
bezel's
look,
relative.
This is why I can't believe anyone in their right mind fell for this. Because look, see where it says ModBook? What's below that?
Touch bar.
How in the world would they possibly get the touch bar out of the top case working and put it that cleanly onto this thing? It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is very much mock-up.
And more importantly, why does it come with an Apple TV remote?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Like, pen-enabled, powerful, portable Mac OS, and an Apple TV remote for no reason. Like,
what is it? Yeah, it just sits on top of there. Like, what is that? What is that doing?
I just, the original ModBook was great because it's so simple. And then they were like, all right, here's what we're going to do.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that was horrible. We're going to turn it into this weird, ungainly, ugly, like, first of all, you're losing ports. It looks like you're down to one USB-C and a headphone jack on this side. Don't know what they planned on doing with the other port. I don't know. I don't know why we're talking about this. I can't remember how we got to this topic, but like, dude, you could make a render for literally anything and people would fund it.
Yeah, there were a lot of scams. I feel like there still are some, but like people are a little wiser to it. But like, there were so many of those scams, vaporware things.
So funny. Wait, you know which? I think we talked about this. Not on the podcast, but like in real life, back when this came out. I'm going to pull up a tab here and I want you to tell me if you remember this. And for those of you listening along, you're just gonna have to wait until we talk about it so that you know what it is.
Oh,
Do you remember
yes.
this, Noah?
I remember this because especially because of the Captain Disillusion videos about it.
Yes. Well, you don't even need Captain Disillusion to. First of all, that's that horrible font that's on everything these days. You know how there's
Yeah.
like the mug and it just says like "eat shit" on the mug, but it's in this font, and you're supposed to be like, "Oh wow, cool."
It's the hipster font.
This is where it started, I guess. The hipster font, the home goods font,
Yeah.
live, laugh, love font, all of the above. I guess it started here. This is when was this from? 30 million views this has.
Jeez.
Wow. October 30th, 2014. Like, if you posted this today and did this Kickstarter, nobody would believe it. Why did anyone believe this? Let's watch this video and we'll describe it for those listening. It makes no sense to me that anyone was this gullible. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's have a look. Let's have a look on Secret Bracelets possibilities. Great start. All right, so you're in the tub with your feet sticking out. Oh, beautiful.
Look at the wallpaper. It's this like dark moon or something. It's like such an ugly wallpaper too.
Yeah, it really is. So with the flick of a wrist projected onto your pale white skin is Android 4.4 KitKat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Oh, so fake.
I mean, I will say they masked the finger well. And they put a shadow under there. But like it's not keystoned properly. This also wouldn't make any sense to use because you'd block. It's a projector, right? That was the whole idea. There's a little light that they've tracked onto the bracelet up there. It's supposedly a projector, which means every time you're touching it, you should be blocking everything below that.
Yeah. Oh, and the motion tracking is like
The motion tracking is not good.
Bad.
All right, you're on the subway. You flick your secret, and it somehow knows the orientation. Motion tracking here is even worse than before.
Oh, that's horrible.
Wow.
Oh,
Gosh.
Oh, it's slow too.
It's slow. The motions don't actually like line up with what you're seeing. You go to the Louvre. This is like the production quality of this is crazy. Oh yeah, Fruit Ninja, gotta have that. You can be sitting at the Louvre.
Yeah, you gotta play Fruit Ninja at the Louvre. These like are not even. He was swiping at an angle, and it was a perfectly straight across swipe.
Yeah, nothing here makes any sense. And I mean, what is even happening here?
You're sitting on the sofa reading a book. You don't want to stand up. You don't want to reach for your phone. Oh, so it's mirroring the phone. It's not even.
And it has
not
even speaker
a thing.
It has a mic
and a microphone.
Oh, this is great.
They're asking.
Yeah, they're like, please, does anyone know how to make this? Because we have no idea. This is all fake. So how do you pronounce this, by the way?
Secret.
Is it secret? I guess it's a secret how it works.
Said. Yeah.
Okay, secret. So how does it work? The Pico projector projects the interface on your arm. When you put your finger on the interface, you stop one of the 8 long-range 8.
Yeah, 8.
You
that's
think you can
horrible.
have a full multi-touch experience with 8 proximity sensors?
Yeah, that's like nothing. You can't even like do an accurate like tap like where you tapped on a screen if there's only 8.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's one of those 8 places, nowhere in between.
Also, those 8 places are not the full like width of the screen that it was projecting. So it's not even accurate.
Yeah.
This demonstration is fantastic. I mean, look at that. What more proof do you need that this is real?
They're like, oh, you can't actually touch your arm because if you touch your arm, then it'll block the light. You have to touch just above your arm every time. Horrible experience. So uncomfortable.
Not to mention, what if you have hair on your arm? Isn't that going to shadow?
Yeah.
Also, the projector would have to be keystoned because like really, really keystoned because it's like such a short throw. So you would see like crazy distorted pixels.
Mm-hmm.
I also love that the sensor sends the information back to the processor, which is in your secret bracelet, implying that in 2014 there was a processor that could fit in your bracelet that possessed enough power to run even very rudimentary forms of Android. Oh my god.
Like, what's the fidelity of this? There's 8 lines, and it's like, which of the 8 lines is your finger blocking? That's it.
Well, I guess it could tell theoretically where. Like, if you look at this as like latitude is which proximity sensor, longitude is like how far from the sensor.
Okay, yeah, but the latitude is there's only 8 sensors, so you can only tell 8 locations, or maybe if you are blocking 2 at once, it could guess that you're in the middle of them, and that's the best that it could possibly do. That's not going to work on a multi-touch Android.
If you block 2 at like if you give it a buffer zone around the sensor, given like your finger is going to be larger than that tiny point there, like it would probably be able to figure out like, I mean, no precision at all, but like you could make that argument. But if you cover 2, what would it possibly, or 3, how would it know?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, and now the components. Okay, this is legit. Bro.
It's all in there.
Oh my god. This has to be real.
Yeah, well, they're showing you where everything is. Like they've fit everything in there, or else they wouldn't be able to make this diagram.
I don't know why they're all in different locations. Like, why is the battery, first of all, the tiniest thing I've ever seen? Like, look at the size of that battery, bro. And it's also, I should also point out that the battery is completely on the polar opposite side from the port that you would use to charge it.
Yep. It's incredibly small, and it's also incredibly thin because I mean, you saw how thin the bracelet was in the thing. There's like no, see, someone said the battery is smaller than the micro USB port.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's got to be 1 milliamp hour.
Yeah. I think, I think these demos in the video, like that's how long it'll last for. So that's why the demos, they're like, you're in the bathtub, you whip it out, you answer one email and you put it away. That's because the battery died and you can't, and you're done.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, look at the accelerometer. The accelerometer is the same size as the Bluetooth, the Wi-Fi, and the processor. Also, those are the only components. And the battery. Like, and why is everything so far apart and like on what looks like a ribbon cable with the battery in the thinnest part at the very, very end? So like your charge comes in, goes through the entire thing to get to the battery, They couldn't have just like look at the amount of space between the micro USB port and the Wi-Fi component. Why didn't they just take the PNG that is their battery and just put it over there? There's plenty of room for it.
Yeah, they
Oh my god.
they could have done a little bit of a better job with this scam. I mean, not that they needed to. They got tons of money, but they definitely could have done a better job.
People paid the money for this. Also, that Wi-Fi component, that's not a Wi-Fi board at all. That's like a blank PCB with like empty traces on it.
You mean to tell me that that's not a Wi-Fi component? I've seen a lot of Wi-Fi components in my day. I've seen hundreds of Wi-Fi components.
I have seen every Wi-Fi component in existence. And that, my friend, is one.
That's a Wi-Fi component right there.
Hell yeah. And look at this snap button. They put the snap button so that you can like close it or something. I guess.
I don't know. It's such a that looks like it came straight out of a CAD program.
And that's like equal importance as like the Pico projector, which by the way is just a rectangle with like a lens PNG on it. Oh, your mom just sent me a Snopes article on this.
Oh, good. Is it real? Please tell me it's real. I bought one. No, wait. But I just bought one. I just gave them money.
How much was it? Does anyone remember?
I think it was like $300. It was like $200 or $300 when they were raising money for it.
Oh my god. Also,
I'm pretty sure.
When was this? Okay, so this was this Snopes article that your mom just sent me. Given what we just watched, like that makes this even funnier, I have to say. So, given the absolute train wreck that was that video, which literally looked like it was made by a 14-year-old. Admittedly, a 14-year-old who knows how to like do some medium level CGI. But like, okay. So the fact check on the secret bracelet says, the clip showcased some impressive technology that eliminates a number of inconveniences experienced by smartphone users. It enables submersion in water and allows, as described by ZDNet wrote an article talking about a design company. They like wrote a full-on thing. The secret will be available in two capacities, 32 gigabytes and 16 gigabytes, and will be available in 10. Like they wrote about this like it's a real thing. And
yeah.
So they say here, the secret app, this is back to Snopes, the secret app and bracelet was lauded by tech bloggers as the next stage of smartphone connectivity, and videos and articles about it were widely shared on social media sites. But if your first impression was the device looked like something out of science fiction, you weren't entirely wrong. A number of skeptical users had some pointed questions about the claims, and among the more logical queries, such as how the device might work for people with dark skin or abundant arm hair, was a far more central one. Does it actually exist? I don't think that's really a question, given what we just watched.
Yeah. I think they're trying to be a little nice here. They're trying to let you down easy. Like I was so excited about this. Now I'm like heartbroken. They're just trying to let me down easy, you know?
And they continue to let us down easy, Noah, by saying in a December 5th, 2014 report from Washington television station WTOP, the co-creator of Secret, reluctantly confirmed the impressive video, very impressive, produced was a mock-up not representative of any functional prototype device. Oh, no way.
Aw.
What?
Wow. But yet they used it to raise money for they used it as if it were real to raise money from people.
Oh, they did have, they had a working prototype video. Do you guys want to see the working prototype video?
Yes.
Oh, and this one, they really hyped this one up. Take a look. A world premiere.
World premiere. Okay.
Okay, what do we got? What do you got for a Secret? First working prototype. Oh, wow.
All right, let's see it.
Low angle Oh my goodness. They keep talking about how the flickering is due to the camera. This is the most horribly shot and
look at how big
fake.
it is. You can barely see it on their wrist, but it's so much bigger than the original one.
More to come.
You can barely read that. Oh my god.
And notice how they're not actually showing whatever it is on their wrist. Like, you can clearly see that there's something that is really big that they're like hiding.
Yep.
It seems to have one app, and that is a photo library.
It has the More to Come app. Don't forget about that.
Also, oh no. This is not even, oh no, I think I know what this is. I think, Noah, this whole thing is fake. Like, even like, I think I know what they did.
Uh-huh.
Amazon.com. Tiny projector. I think they literally just have one of these out of shot, and they keystone the living daylights out of it. And then just I think they just made that like whole sequence that we watched in After Effects, and it's just a video playing, and they're just like touching it. I am 100% convinced there's not even like there's not even one long range proximity sensor.
Yeah, those, I definitely think, I guess there could have been like whatever big thing was on their wrist was like some kind of Pico projector that was doing it, but like whatever it was actually showing, I don't believe that they actually like track the tapping and the swiping. There's no way that they do that.
Wow, we got distracted. We very easily got distracted. We were talking about M2 Max. How did we talk about the Secret?
Oh my god! Okay, we were talking about the Max, and then I mentioned it was the 2 extra pins, and then I said the Apple Pencil, and then it was the mod book, and then it was the bracelet. That was how we got there. That was that was a journey. That was a journey that we just went on.
I feel like I'm waking up from a long night's sleep.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of like the people in the chat were just like, kind of going with it. They were like, oh yeah, cool. Working prototype was bigger than an iPhone. Like, people are just kind of like, talking about that, totally letting us off the hook from the fact that we completely just spent 20 minutes talking about the oldest like like an 8-year-old scam. I can't believe that scam worked that well though. Like they got so much coverage for what was clearly just like an After Effects video.
Yeah, that was like, I don't know. And I feel like it definitely doesn't happen to that extent, but like there are definitely like those kinds of scams, like too good to be true things that people, sometimes it's like regular people like a Kickstarter, sometimes it's like big like venture capital, whatever, just throw money at like, I don't know, all this like all the tech stuff. There's just like so much of that. I feel like that's what like Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, but like all the cryptocurrencies have basically taken over that role of like, you know, being like the scams that people put their money into. It's a little bit of a different thing, but like, I don't know. The scams definitely haven't gone away. They've just changed shape.
This is true. I feel like the bar is a little higher, maybe, than this.
I think I would say here's what I think. I think what happened was this kind of stuff happened. Some people made money, Secret made money. There were, I'm sure, plenty of other things like this. And then people wised up, you know, they realized, you know, how to spot a scam. And then the scams popped up in other places. So now like crypto, there's a lot of scams, and maybe eventually people will wise up and crypto will get cleaned up a bit, and then they'll go somewhere else. We'll see VR scams. That'll be the next thing. AR scams.
Dude, that's a very good point. I do wonder, like, you know how we look back on these things, like you look at this Secret video, you look back on like some of the, even the not scams but like legitimate concept videos that companies would actually like publish, or you look at I don't know, even just like design choices and stuff, and you think, wow, that's hilarious and stupid, and why did anyone ever think that would work? And it does make you wonder, like, what are the things that we have today that we don't think about as being like an obvious scam or an obvious, like, ridiculous, not going to happen, but that are? I think VR and crypto are probably my top two.
Yeah, I think those are that's true. So you're saying like things that exist today that like some time ago would have seemed like crazy like scams? Is that what you're referring to?
No, I'm saying that things that exist today that in the future will be obvious as like, wow, that was really dumb. That was an obvious scam, or wow, that looks stupid. I think the metaverse is top of my list in terms of things that are dumb that exist. And then crypto is top of my list in terms of like, how did people fall for that? That's such an obvious scam.
Yeah, I definitely agree with those. I'm trying to think if there's any others that are like coming to the top of my head, but those are definitely the big ones.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm going with. Metaverse.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. That reminded me of the Apple headset. We're getting close now. We're like a month and a half away from possibly, like, we're talking about something that it could be like, we could be about to witness the iPhone launch, or we could be about to witness, you know, Mark Zuckerberg's The Metaverse Part 2.
That is true. Someone said in a comment, driverless cars. I feel like I don't know. I feel like that's kind of interesting. I feel like, what do you think? What about Tesla Autopilot? They keep saying it's coming. Like every year they're like, oh, it's going to be fully self-driving. And they've said that for years, and it's still has a lot of problems. I don't know.
That's a very good. That might be one. I have a feeling that there's going to, maybe not an obvious scam, but there's going to be a lot of people who are like 10 years from now, having bought 2 Teslas and paid $15,000 each time for self-driving and never getting it, who are going to be like, wow, why did I buy that? Why did I think that was going to happen? Like, oh, self-driving by 2019, self-driving by 2021, self-driving by 2024. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, and the robot. The Tesla
Oh yeah,
bot.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Cybertruck,
Yeah.
the Tesla Roadster.
Yep.
Like Jesus, everyone's out here waiting for their Cybertruck, and Elon changed his name to Mr. Tweet on Twitter.
That shows you where
That's
his priorities are at.
yeah, 2023, ladies and gentlemen. It's been real. This podcast has been real, and we made up, I think, now for our late start.
Yeah, more than we needed to. I think we made up for the late start, and we made up for the what was it? The soldering liquid. I think we made up for that now.
Oh wait, before we go, I should check in on how we're doing there. So, unfortunately, Noah, it's not looking too hot. 85% of the 659 votes believe that we are no longer allowed to be considered technology YouTubers after this error.
Oh, it's unfortunate. What are you gonna just go full time on cars now?
I mean, I should probably quit and go back to being a camp counselor.
Yeah, that was fun. Maybe I'll join you.
Yeah, I mean, because you obviously have to quit.
Well, I mean, we're not technology YouTubers anymore.
Yeah. 85%. Well, I mean, you have to quit Google. You have to you can't be associated with technology. We have to throw our phones out.
We have to become Amish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've got one of those old cranky Ring style phones, like the big wall box 1920s boys. Mm-mm-mm.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
that's very good. We'll keep in touch then.
Yes, that's great. They still got telegram lines and stuff, so we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know what else will be fine is this subpar segue to us ending the podcast because we're over time today. So I didn't have time to think of a really great one. Normally it takes me 20, 30 minutes to come up with those absolute bangers. But today I've been your host, Luke Miani.
And I've been your host, Noah Rubin. We'll see you next week. Next week. And have a great night.
We hope you have a fine night.
Yeah, it's whatever.
It's whatever, man. I don't care. Do it or don't do it. I don't care.